talking to a group. From San Diego State University.
What's a TED event?
It's a TED Talk. People talk on things that they know about.
Thank you. What have I discovered? I've discovered that life is filled with obstacles. Some be the size of anthills that we walk over every day and have no idea we overcame them. Some the size of Mount Everest and seem so daunting that we don't think we can overcome them. It's inevitable, we're always going to face them. But it's how you approach these obstacles in life that determines your character, it determines who you are, and it determines your happiness. Just over 3 years ago, during my sophomore year here at San Diego State, I remember walking around on campus, and I had to squint to read a sign. It was alarming for me because I had 20/20 vision my whole life. I called my mom, I said, "Mom, I think I need to see an optometrist." She set up the optometrist appointment, and the day before Thanksgiving 2008, I went and saw that optometrist. He was running the everyday normal tests, and everything was going fine, until he had me cover my left eye. Covered my left eye, and at that point I couldn't see the eye chart at all. I couldn't even read the big E. I remember thinking, I might need some Steve Urkel sized glasses. Okay, sure, but let me just get back to school. The optometrist said, "Jeremy, I'm going to need to call your parents in and I'm going to run some more tests on you." After running the tests and coming back in, he said, "Jeremy, I think you have one of two things. I think you have either a pituitary adenoma," which to this day I have no idea what that is, or I think you have a brain tumor. So Thanksgiving 2008, I got an MRI done early in the morning to test for a brain tumor. Thankfully, I found out I did not have a brain tumor. Over the next 2 months, my vision was rapidly deteriorating. I was misdiagnosed with multiple diseases along with the other two there. I ended up having a catheter in my hand for 5 days. I got a spinal tap done. And I had a catheter in my jugular for 10 days, where I would lay in a hospital bed and do something called plasmapheresis. And all of these were to no avail for diseases they thought I had. After those 2 months, I was finally diagnosed, and my vision had spread from just being bad in one eye to both eyes. After the 2 months, I was finally diagnosed with a rare hereditary disease called Leber's Hereditary Optic Neuropathy, or LHON. In 2 months, my sight went from 20/20 to where it is now today. I'm currently legally blind with no central vision. So if you could for me, put your hand right in front of your face like that and look directly at it and look around a little bit. See what it's like in my shoes. But don't cheat, look directly at your hand, see what it's like, no central vision. I mean, look at the sign back there. Can you even see it? I mean, the videos are great, listening to them and all, but I don't know how they look. So that's my life. I say I'm no longer able to read, no longer able to drive, and I'm no longer able to distinguish faces now that I've lost my sight. Unfortunately, LHON currently has no treatment and no cure. I was devastated, depressed. I thought, why me every single day for a month? What did I do to deserve this? I remember thinking back on the first 19 years of my life and thinking, what did I do wrong to have this trauma happen to me? I complained, I was sulking, I was at my parents' house just being so bitter about my situation. And I thought rightfully so. There was one point when I was at my parents' house, my dad came to me and I had been sleeping in until noon, 1 in the afternoon at this time. And my dad came down to me one day and said, "Jeremy, why are you sleeping in so late? Let's wake you up early, let's get your day started, let's go, let's be active." And I said, "Dad, honestly, when I'm sleeping, in my dreams I see 20/20. When I wake up, I'm legally blind. Where would you rather be?"
Okay, so that's a great question. So here he is, all of a sudden blind. And he goes on, he tells a story, and says different people with this type of disease, he got a hold of different people and they say, do you notice that the people around you start to flake off and don't really want to be with you? You know what he said? No, I don't. His best friend, after he finally came back to school, I think he was off school for a semester and came back, his best friend took the exact same classes that he took. It was only 6 hours worth. Walked into class, walked him back, was with him the whole time. And just, I mean, what a friend. I'm going to jump further ahead. Now, the one thing he was able to do before, he loved playing golf before. And now, but his mom was on the internet and found out that there's a blind golf association. And what you do in the blind golf association is that you have someone that walks with you. And it's his dad. Because his dad and him, that's how they bonded. They would play golf every week. He said he played golf every week on Sunday. And he says, if my dad won, he'd be egging me all week. And if I won, I'd be egging him all week. And that's the way they connected. And what they do is that the caddy, which is his dad, helps line the ball up for him and helps do everything for him and tells him which way to hit the ball. And anyway, he ended up winning this national championship over in England, this international championship. And now he's a spokesperson for this blind foundation that he's. But one thing that he said, and I want to get to this place in the.
And you can cue the next picture. So after that chip-in, that was the coolest experience of my entire life. Everything, right when that ball went in, everything after that was a blur. Well, pardon the pun, but it was. And not only did I win the World Blind Golf Championships, but I got to share the experience. And not only did we succeed in enjoying our experience there, we won. And in golf, golf is an individual sport. If Phil Mickelson wins the tournaments, congratulations, Phil, out of the field. But blind golf, it's a team sport. And I didn't win the World Blind Golf Championships. My dad and I did. We did together. And we get to say we're the world champions. We're the world champions. We'll be defending our title in Canada this July. So we're excited for that, but we're going in with the same goal as last time. We're going to have a good time. Since winning the Worlds, I've had incredible experiences, opportunities. I've been flown out to Japan and China to raise awareness of blind golf. I've been featured on MTV for a show called True Life. I'm losing my sight. I'll be featured in a future episode on the Golf Channel for Golf in America. If you were to come to me today and say, right after my speech, and say, Jeremy, I have something that will give you your vision back. Do you want it? I would say, absolutely not. No, I don't. I'm happier without my sight, more so than I was 4 years ago when I had my sight, and that's.
What do you think about that? Jeremy, I have an answer for you. You can have your sight back today. She says, I don't want it. What's he have now that he didn't have before?
Community in a whole new way.
He's got community, he's got a purpose, he's got hope.
I don't take many things for granted anymore. I appreciate the things I do have. Because I've discovered that in life, there are obstacles. We all face them every day. It's inevitable. Some are minute. Some are so daunting we don't think we can overcome them. But it's how we approach these obstacles in life that determines who we are, determines our character, and determines our happiness. I went legally blind in a matter of 2 months at 19 years old, and I could easily still be at my parents' house sulking about my situation and complaining. But instead, I'm here with you tonight, telling you my story to empower you. What have you discovered? And how will you face the obstacles in your life? Thank you.
I like this passage. Anyone who's among the living has hope. Even a live dog's better off than a dead lion. If you're alive,
Right.
you have hope. Now the question is, just because you're breathing doesn't mean you're alive. Are you alive? And I like that. Even though you may think you're just a dog, maybe you don't think you're alive, you don't think you have tremendous potential, you're better off if you're alive than even though you maybe at one point had tremendous potential, had this going for you, had that going for you, and you're dead. Being an alive dog is better than some old dead lion. There's a song. I'd like us to continue in on this. Other people have things to share. I still don't. Other of us have things to share. And I'd like to maybe, who else has something to share? We've talked that, you wanted to share.
I said I have something else that I'd like to share.
Go ahead.
The one other thing I'd like, or I sense that we need to do is I'd like to join with that church that does the food pantry and whatever else is it. I can't remember the name.
Hope
of it.
Church?
Hope. And join with them in help providing food for the people that need food desperately and whatever else that they do there.
Worcester Hope Center?
Or
Grandma's
Grandma's
cupboard or something.
Covered.
Old Mother Hubbard's
Yeah.
covered.
Yes. We'll eventually get it. But that's the other thing, to be able to reach out and help another
Okay.
church
Okay.
that's helping others.
Good. What I want us to do is to continue to pray. Pray about who we are, and I want us to dream. Now what does it mean to dream God's dream and not just to say, I want you to fulfill my dream, God? There's a song here. It talks about that God is higher than our dreams. That unless our hope is in Jesus, our hope is just in something. Our hope is in something else. I mean, what got Jesus through is his hope was in his relationship with God. Because maybe our dreams fail. I think Jesus' idea of how he was supposed to be and what he was supposed to